first play. This is and at this point in the game, I believe it was 14-0. I could be wrong. I don't think I am. Again, I binge watched the crap out of this game to get it out on time for you guys, or get it out basically at all. Um, but this is a situation where I was watching the game, and I'm sitting there. I'm like, he cannot not go for it here. I think it was 14-0. Like you can't punt at this point in the game. Again, I apologize if it was 7-0, just a little bit of brain fog. But at this point in the game, I did want Salah to go for it. I remember being a little bit pissed that he was punting at this point, especially hostile territory. And you're looking at a team who just drove it down the Jets' throat, either once or multiple times for either one or two touchdowns. Again, I forget. I could probably pause and look it up, but who cares? Thought it was necessary, and obviously, ballsy move. Now I don't know if it was directly a Salah thing, or or Boyer has say on that, because there are coaches who on special teams, they do have to say on this stuff. You're assuming it's at least ran to the head coach. Either way, really good decision by these guys, and a good fake at him. Obviously, he's faking that he's going to the inside to get the corner, or the gun blocker, or whatever we're gonna call him, the jammer's hips to open to the inside, so he can then stem him outside and break out. And we also have Braden Mann, who actually threw a pretty solid ball here. Now, obviously, it didn't necessarily lead him, but he didn't really have to slow down too much, and it was on his body. So it was it's a pretty good throw by Braden Mann right there to pick up a first down in a very, very key situation, which I believe led to a touchdown for the Jets. So again, I don't necessarily no, I know you guys, especially the people on YouTube who aren't going to see the full review, who are going to hate some special teams play at first. But subscribe and watch the whole thing then. I want to highlight this one really quickly too. This is the missed extra point. Just a little note about it. I don't study too much special teams and kicking and things like that. So I'm not going to even pass off or say, okay, I feel really comfortable with this stuff. But missed extra point. Really quick, just a quick note about the extra point and why I believe he missed it again. This is what I believe, and I'm pretty sure about it, but I'm not necessarily a kicking expert. But a little side note about this play, again, just to highlight it, because it was a very big point in the game, or not a big point in the game at this point. We're talking about 30 to 17, right? But little do we know what was about to happen. So for the kicker, which is York, right? Again, it's not even a Jets player, but who cares? But reason he missed this kick, a little bit of an overextension on this plant leg. That's a little bit too far inside, and when it's really far inside like that, this leg it's to be really hard for it to kind of swing with the width it needs. So because his foot is again really far inside here, this leg's not going to be able to swing out wide, because he's just going to fall on his face. So to keep his balance, his body's naturally going to keep this leg really tight. And just watching this at first, I remember recording it and then trying to look even before it went in. I'm like, I would guess this would be wide right. Why? Because this foot is now shallow, so he's going to push that ball, because it's not set dead center on the ball exactly where he wants it. So he pushes it right, and it leads to obviously a 1-point win by the Jets in about 2 minutes, or 1 minute and 55 seconds from here. So I wanted to highlight that really quickly. Again, people are losing their minds, but it is what it is. And then we have the man onside kick right here, which obviously a lot of teams will just bounce and things like that, and when you lay the ball flat like this, is a little bit like, oh, what the hell's going to happen here? And I know that some teams kick it and they want it to spin, and then spin back, hopefully to their team. But Braden Mann fakes it to the right side. Then obviously is going to kick it to the left, and after the game, we had some clarification just in terms of Will Parks and Hardy kind of communicating that he's going to blow up Amari Cooper right here. And then, the rest of the three guys are going to try to grab that ball, but he's going to try to blow him up. He's not necessarily trying to grab it, even though he eventually does. But obviously flawless execution by Braden Mann and everybody else on this play, which was, at this point in the game, you're thinking, okay, there's a chance. How often are kicks recovered? Not much. About to go on a show with Nanya, so I'm sure he'll tell me, but it's not very high. But again, the fake by Mann and again, let's hype up special teams. They legitimately were a big part of this game. Fakes it right. goes to the goes left. It just gets to 10 yards before Will Parks is about to go to grab it. Again, his plan was to blow up Cooper, but the ball was right there past 10 yards, so he obviously dove forward with momentum because he's gonna hit Cooper. Also tries to grab it. You'd like to see that you'd like to see Marcel Harris right here be able to grab it, which, by the way, Marcel Harris, I don't know if I put this in my notes, but you can't be getting, unnecessary roughness calls or whatever it was late in the game like he did. So not ideal for him. Nonetheless, as soon as I saw this, the ball leaking out like that, and I was freaking out because I saw Harris there, like all within a second span, saw him miss it, and I was like, no, they had a chance. And I thought it was going to be, whoever this was, we were going to grab it, but now I didn't really know where the ball was. And then you see Hardy sprinting in here. He's able to find the ball, and dive on it right there. And bring that in for obviously one of the biggest onside kicks in New York Jets history. People talk about the Monday Night Miracle, which I think overall was probably a better comeback. Just in terms of like how long it was and how sustained it was, but in terms of the percentage chance of each one happening, this was the best comeback in Jets history in terms of percentage. Again, I think it was 99.99 2, I believe it was, because I think the Jets had a 0.008 chance of coming back there. So it wasn't even 0.1. It was 0.08 chance. So even less. So obviously ridiculous considering. But moving past that, again, I'll apologize for the dog. I apologize for the sounds as he rolls in the dirt. But it's the only way I can get a show done. So you can complain about it, but then you'd get no show either way. But there would be some people out there who'd be like, oh, then I don't want a show at all. Goodbye. Doing a show from outside, it happens. As he is sprinting through the dirt and is absolutely filthy right now. So maybe he'll make an appearance and I'll show you guys what I have to deal with 2-3 times a day washing him, because he can't even come to the house as dirty as he is right now. So that's great. Who cares? I'm outside for the next 5 hours. Moving on. And obviously, we start off with the studs, as I said, when we win 31-30. I don't know if I even said that. A little bit out of my element here. Number 2 stud of the game, Joe Flacco. I have a lot of his plays intertwined with others throughout this game, but you're looking 26 for 44, 307 yards, 4 touchdowns, 0 picks. I have about 7 plays of him. Listen, was he amazing? No. Was he amazing at the end? Yes, he was. So I have to be impressed with him at the end of the game. Now, did he miss some throws? Did he miss Corey Davis? Did he miss Garrett Wilson in the end zone? Did he sail a couple of balls? 100%. But, the cool and collectedness of Cool Joe at the end of this game was obviously very, very clutch for everybody, so you got to give him credit where it's due. And I'm going to give him my second stud of the game. So let's watch some Joe Flacco plays here. 13. Flacco ball placement. Okay. And I remember this play. I think again, I binge watched this and recorded this, so I didn't put as much not effort, but as much, I don't know, close. I didn't watch it with as close of an eye when I recorded it. I was literally just trying to record it just so I can talk to you guys about it, because I wasn't going to do a show this week until this happened. I was like, I can't not do a show, but Italy calls, so got to record it immediately. So let's watch. All right. Now, and just in terms of ball placement, obviously this is their first red zone trip. And they're just they're running like a Panther concept where we're gonna have like double slants or a slant and in, and then a flat there. You're gonna read 1, 2, 3. And we have Joe Flacco drops back. He's gonna read the inside slot right there, which is, I believe, that's Elijah Moore. So reads Elijah Moore. Obviously, Elijah Moore has at least a guy leveraged inside of him, so he's not going to throw that ball. Goes to Garrett Wilson. Obviously makes a pretty sharp break inside on that in cut. And the mental processing of Flacco is what shows up here. As you can see from you can't see from the other angle, but nonetheless, the other angle, it's going to show him looking towards the middle of the field to read what's happening, reading a linebacker, and then going to Elijah Moore in his progression. So he knows he doesn't want to throw to Elijah Moore, but stacked on top of that, he also knows that the linebacker's there. Not necessarily sure exactly if it's man or zone coverage that quickly, but he knows the linebacker is there. So now he goes to read Garrett Wilson, sees Garrett Wilson obviously with the inside open, but again, not knowing exactly what's happening with his linebacker. He doesn't want to throw this ball inside and either leave it to, let it be a hospital ball, or just a deflection or a pick in general. So good ball placement by Joe Flacco to put it more back shoulder and let Wilson fall down and grab that ball. So actually give me a second here. Hold on. All right. And we continue. And usually I do this stuff a little bit more for the subscribers, but I wanted to show some tangible proof of how freaking dirty this dog just got. If you look at it, like, come on, bro. Just never ends. So it is what it is. I apologize for the the ball squeaking and everything else going on. But moving on, next Flacco play, play 21 of the review, or play 21 of the total review, play 2 of Flacco. Let me pull it up here. Let's see. Flacco sack, Jets miscommunication. Okay, so let's watch and then we'll discuss a little bit. So I don't really know. It's not that I don't know. Typically with this, if you were to see this happening, if you were to see a backside defensive end allowed to crash in like this, whether it be like, it's usually for a screen or an RPO where they get rid of the ball really, really quickly. Now on an actual route concept, it's just a vertical and then a quick out. You typically don't see that, especially against Myles Garrett. And then it leads me to believe, okay, maybe the other angle, you have some offensive linemen getting down the field for a screen. Okay, which we had one offensive lineman getting downfield for the screen, which, by the way, if McGovern was called a couple times, why isn't AVT there? But nonetheless, some of those calls on McGovern were ridiculous. But again, you could find holding or ineligible man downfield like every single play on a screen. But they decided to call it on the Jets because the refs just felt like getting after us in this game. Some of the calls they made were brutal. On both sides, they missed a couple of false starts on George Fant in this game, but nonetheless they were brutal for both sides, more for the Jets. But leads me to think, okay, well he's working down the field. But you have Michael Carter who gets out into the potential screen pretty slowly, and again, tip, like with a screen that's going to be this slow developing with him working from the opposite side, you think that at least chip Clowney or Garrett. So I don't know what was happening. Again, typically it's an RPO or a really quick developing screen, not usually one like a slip screen from running back. It's usually going to be like a bubble screen, a quick tunnel screen, quick like a smoke route, like something like that. But a longer developing running back screen with a backside defensive end unblocked. I don't know what happened here. This cannot have been their plan. Obviously, if so, then absolutely dreadful plan. But not a pretty play at all. At this point, and that was Myles Garrett's only sack. I was really expecting him to break the sack record, the all-time Cleveland Browns sack record, and obviously he did not. So screw you, Browns, and screw you, Myles Garrett. So next play, Flacco climb placement. All right, let's see. Flacco climb placement. All right, let's watch. Again, another good job. Just knowing, dropping back, reading the middle of the field, reading the concept to the right.